Okay. Well, poor thing. And I think you brought, Scott, I think you brought something a little more appropriate
Well,
for the new year.
gee, you
That
want to
we're
do
going to enjoy
it?
before the end
Yeah.
service.
Okay.
Your mic is on mute. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
You know what I want to do today? This being the 1st of January, and we were all sequestered or in lockdown in our private residences last night, and some of us watched the ball drop in Times Square, and it was empty. You know, the daughter of one of our congregants, her name is Lauren Schneider. She is in charge of the ball and she attends here.
I didn't know that.
She attends. Her mother is a member. Well, I want to just reflect a little bit about the year just passed and what's going on. I like to do my remarks at the beginning of services tonight because, when we reflect back on 2020, I think all of us would say it was a dark, hard, maybe even a brutal year. And wouldn't you agree, Scott? Yeah. Richie, you would agree? It's been a tough year for all of us. The Cantor's not here, and I'll tell you why. He was a blessed, he and his brother Ben, twins, were a blessed tax deduction that came their parents' way many years ago. In other words, their birthday, the Cantor's birthday is December the 21st. 31st. What did I say? The 21st. I meant the 31st. And so I said, stay, enjoy Shabbat with your wife, and you can watch tonight. Again, I want to speak about this year just passed and the year ahead. And again, you're supposed to be kind of joyful on Shabbat, but some of my remarks are not going to be all that upbeat, of course, given how difficult this year is, and when we reflect on it, and you have to reflect on what has just passed in order to grasp what may lie ahead. There's a song that I like very much. It was written by the Eagles, one of those great bands in the 60s, and it really describes what we're feeling, I think, what I'm feeling about this year just passed and where we're at tonight and where we're going to be for a little while longer. It's called There's a Hole in the World. Now, if you know it, you can join with me, because I'm no Cantor Manny. So, there's a hole in the world tonight. There's a cloud of fear and sorrow. There's a hole in the world tonight. Don't let there be a hole in the world tomorrow. They say that anger's just love disappointed. They say that love is just a state of mind. But all this fighting over who is anointed, oh, how can people be so blind? There's a hole in the world tonight. There's a cloud of fear and sorrow. There's a hole in the world tonight. Don't let there be a hole in the world tomorrow. Oh, they tell me there's a place over yonder, cool water running through the burning sand. Until we learn to love one another, we'll never reach the promised land. Join me. There's a hole in the world tonight. There's a cloud of fear and sorrow. There's a hole in the world tonight. Don't let there be a hole in the world tomorrow. Thank you, Richie. I sprung that on him just a few minutes before services. Thank you so much. Well, again, it's been a tough year. 350,000 Americans have died because of the COVID virus. 20 million have been infected. Today, I was informed that 3 members of our temple family are stricken with the COVID. 2 are rather young. They're in their 20s. I don't know their condition, to be honest with you. But one of our older members is in the hospital tonight. And that to me is not good news at all, to say the least. People have said that this COVID pandemic is like a war, and it really is like a war. A war affects every aspect of a society. It affects the troops on the front lines. It affects the civilians on the home front. There are generals and there are leaders. And, it reminds me of the Second World War in a way. In America, we lost about 300,000 people during the Second World War. We've already lost 350,000 already. And with many more people who are likely to pass away because of this pandemic. I personally know people who have been thrown for a loop. Who are what we call the long haulers. I know somebody very well who was stricken with the COVID virus in the summer. And this person is still battling the effects of it. It has, as a war does. There are the front line troops. Who are they? The doctors, the nurses, the people doing the tests for us. Scott, you're in the front lines. You're a front line person. I know you are testing some drugs to help people who are already stricken.
Right. These are severe COVID-19 subjects, so their outlook may not be as good as those who just come in with symptoms.
And we're finding that there are so many essential workers. We never thought of the people who bag our groceries, who stock the shelves at Publix and Winn-Dixie as being on the front lines. But anyone who has to be out in public these days is on the front line. So there are soldiers. And during the Second World War, people rationed. You had your ration card. You only got so many gallons of gasoline every month. You had only a certain number of eggs that you could have and a certain amount of meat. And people were buying bonds. People were volunteering for the USO. And women were doing their part. Women who would never know one end of the other when it came to a riveting gun, where they were building our warships. Everybody was doing what they were doing. We had our generals. And guess what? We have been affected. Our economy has been affected. People are wearing masks. People are distancing themselves. And some people aren't, though. That's the problem. During the Second World War, everybody kind of pulled together. Maybe I'm idealizing it, but I'm unaware of people who said, the Nazis are not a big threat, and the Japanese. And I don't think that was going on. People really pulled together. And most people, I think, are doing the right thing, wearing their masks, etc. But, we haven't had that cohesion that we should have had. We have our generals. I guess Dr. Fauci is a general. Dr. Birx is a general in this fight. The CDC, the NIH, Johns Hopkins University. There are a lot of these are our generals. But something has happened in the country that it hasn't been good. Besides obviously the health effects of the pandemic, this pandemic has also brought forward all sorts of fissures, all sorts of differences and divides in American society, whether it's in politics or racial divisions. And we haven't pulled together as we should have. We should have done. So it's been tough, and thank goodness, vaccines are on the horizon. We're not getting them out quick enough. I think we've only inoculated maybe 3 million people this last month, when we should have inoculated about 20 million. That was the plan. And even if we did, I know our president-elect talks about inoculating 1 million people a day, but when you think about it, there are 330 million Americans. That would mean a year. It's still going to be a year before everybody's inoculated.
We don't have children. Children can't get the vaccine either because it hasn't been tested in vaccine.
That's right.
In children, and they have to take a second. Those who got the first vaccine have to get the second vaccine. Otherwise, it's only 50% effective right now.
That's right. You got to get the 2 shots. So, even if he did, 1 million a day, that's really 500,000 a day when you get it, because you're not totally, because you got to have that second, inoculation, that second shot. So, we're not out of the woods yet. It's taken a great toll on us emotionally and spiritually, mentally. So many people have been isolated, and so many people are hurting because their normal routines, their normal social interactions with other people have been interrupted. I know I have not seen members of my family going on for a year now. I mean, and that's painful. Okay, it's nice to do the FaceTime. It's nice to do a Skype or a Zoom call. But, it doesn't substitute hugging somebody. I miss the hugs. I miss shaking hands with people. I miss being in the same room with my friends, my congregants, my buddies, people I really care about. I want to breathe the same air that you're breathing. And it kills me when I look out at an empty congregation as I am right now, knowing that there are many of you who are watching at home tonight. And I just can't wait to be able to be with you. It has bothered me that I can't do my job as a rabbi the way I'm used to. Again, we have an elderly member of our congregation who was just admitted to the hospital. Normally, I would be there in a minute. Boom, I'd be there. I've been in ICUs for decades. I've been going to. I have a badge that lets me in to the memorial system. I can go to ICUs. They let me in. Rabbi, not now. I can't do it now. And calling up people to see how they are on the phone just just doesn't do it. I'm a lunch guy. I like to, hey, Scott, you want to have lunch? Let's talk about the temple. I want to hear about the family. How are Ethan and Sarah doing? You know, and you sit down and have a meal with people. And it's not just services. Praying together is a beautiful thing. But you know what else is beautiful? The conversations at the Onyx. To see you interacting with each other. Schmoozing, as we call it in Yiddish. Talking about whatever. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got a little pain here. I don't feel... Oh, I was on the golf course the other... I shot an 80. That's not bad. I'm a grandparent for the second. It's fun. But we can't do that so much. It's been tough. It's really been tough. It's been tough on a lot of people financially. Certainly if you are in the entertainment business, if you are in the tourism business, it's been tough. Retail, box stores, the stores that sell, Macy's and things like that, they're not doing so well. Online apparently is doing well. If you're Amazon, you're doing well. But there are some of my favorite restaurants, and Marilyn and I love going out to restaurants. We see them, they're closed. A lot of our favorite places, we just hope that they'll come back. We just hope that they will come. So we're all hurting. But you know something? If you look at everything that happens in life as an opportunity to grow spiritually, as an opportunity to learn something, I think you can come away from this COVID pandemic a stronger, better person. I'll tell you some things that we have been learning. We have been learning the importance of community. Never to take community, like a synagogue, like a temple, for granted. I know a lot of you have found comfort in just meditating with me every day and joining the Cantor and Scott and Richie and me on Friday nights. And I know that you have been calling each other, and we've tried to be there for you, as I know you have tried to be there for each other. So we've learned the importance of community. We've also learned that there's a difference between being lonely. There's a difference between loneliness and solitude. Now, some of us, and I think all of us, have experienced loneliness. But some of us have experienced solitude, and solitude is different. You know what solitude is? Solitude is being by yourself and enjoying your own presence. Getting used, just being quiet and enjoying your own company. Some of us have never had the need to explore solitude. So we've learned about solitude, and that's kind of a blessing. We've had to learn about patience. This has been a long haul. Today is January the 1st. It was about this time last year, maybe a week or two later, that the first COVID diagnoses were made in this country. Well, it was around, it was around before that. I have a good friend who was in Northern California with respiratory flu-like symptoms in early December. And he wonders, he hasn't been tested for the antibodies, but he's from Marin County. And he goes, you know what? I wonder. And it was here. It certainly was in China, we know. We've had to learn to be patient. Patience is not one of the most common characteristics of the American personality. We're not a patient people. We want to solve things like that. Well, the scientists have gotten together, and they've come up with some vaccines in record time, but it wasn't quick enough for a lot of people. 10 months, a year, whatever it was. But we've had to learn to be patient. We've also, here's something that I think, I know I talk about a lot, and I don't know whether we practice it enough, and that's faith. What is faith? We talk about it, and we don't really think about it. Faith is the very opposite of certainty. If you're certain of an outcome, you don't need faith, right? I know it's going to happen. I know exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. I know what's going to happen on the stock market next week. I wish I did. I know where I'm going to be in exactly a year from now. I know whatever it is. Life isn't like that. We have to live. We don't like it much, but we have to live with a degree of uncertainty. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't, and it's called faith, It's called faith, and we talk about it, but I don't think we really know what it is. Some of us have discovered faith during this pandemic, saying, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But, I just have to put it in God's hands. I'm going to do everything that I can. Is that your mask or my mask?
Yes.
That's my mask, okay. I'm going to wear my mask. I'm going to keep my social distance. I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to be very careful. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know. When will this end? I don't know. But I have faith. I have faith that it's going to be in one way or another. It's going to be okay. We're going to come out of this. That's what faith is. And, we have no choice, right? We have no choice. It's out of our hands. The scientists are working hard. The governmental offices and institutions are trying to distribute the vaccines. We don't know what's going to happen with the economy, but we go, you know what? It's in God's hands. We're going to do everything we can. Sometimes, I was driving to the synagogue the other day, and the Bee Gees were playing, Staying Alive. Dum, bum, bum, Staying Alive. And I went, you know what? That's about what we're doing. Staying alive. Doing whatever we can to stay alive, to stay positive, and to keep our faith. Okay, Rich, that's all. Now, I just wanted to get that out. Now it's going to be Shabbos. Now we're going. I know I took a lot of time, but I thought I really had to share some of these thoughts with you today. How about I don't know, Hine Matov. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov shevet achim gam yachad. Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. You know, Marilyn and I moved this week. We moved from East Hollywood to Emerald Hills, and we're up to our eyeballs in boxes. And you know, we lit our Shabbos candles anyway. We did a kiddush. And when I get home, we're going to have a Shabbos dinner. No matter what the chaos is. Thank God it's Shabbos. Thank TGIS. Thank God it's Shabbos. Okay, so let's turn to page 120 for the blessing over the Sabbath candles. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. And now we'll lift up our cups for the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kiddushanu v'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'mahaseh v'reishit Yehu yom techila l'mikrayei kodesh zecher l'tziyat Mitzrayim Kivanu v'charta Ve'otanu Kidasha Mikol Ha'amim Ve'shabbat Kodshecha Ve'ahava Uve'ratzon Inchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Well, I didn't hit those notes that Manny can just hit so easily, but we'll do our best. What I don't have in musical ability, I make up with sincerity and effort. You got to sing it. You got to help me.
Do you not hear me now?
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Ma yefeh hayom. Ma yefeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yefeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Lecha Dodi, on page 138, if you happen to have a Mishkan Tefillah. I guess we'll do the first and the second, the fifth, and the ninth verses. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Shamor v'zachur b'dibur echad, hishmianu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad ushmo echad, l'shem ultiferet lehila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat likrat Shabbat lechu velnacha ki makor habracha mirosh mikedem nesucha sof ma'aseh b'machshava v'tefila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Hitoreri, kiva orech, uri, shidaberi, kevod Adonai, alayech nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha utzola. Toch emunei am sula, boi kala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat penei Shabbat nekabla. And now Shalom Aleichem 142. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech, Malachi Hamlach, HaKadosh Baruch. Malachi Hamlachim, Malachi Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitgadal v'yitkadosh Shamei Rabbah V'yamad v'rakirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chayecho u'v'yomecho u'v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael Ba'gola u'v'zman kariv V'yimaru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam u'me'almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach Yipar v'yiturmam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitala Shmei Dekudesha V'richu Le'elam in kol berchata Vashirata Dushbechata V'nechemata Damiran Bialma Vayimaru Amen. We rise for the Baruch. Lie, 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 lie. 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 Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Barichu et Adonai HaMevorach. Barichu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam avad. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam avad. Scott, would you be so kind as to read from page 148 and 150?
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. The night's devote is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Mariv Arvin.
Amen.
Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. And we continue in the English on page 154. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions which I charge you this day, and press them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand, and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. That you observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God. We continue with Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha ba elimado. Mi kamocha nehidar b'kodesh Torah b'chilot o sefer Torah b'chilot o sefer Malchutecha ra'u banecha Bokeya yam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Zelianu v'yamru Adonai Yimlo Leolam Va'ed Adonai Yimlo Leolam Va'ed. And I'm looking at my phone. I know that's rude, but we usually get the feed from from our Facebook viewers, and sometimes they will let me know if Amisha Baruch should be said, and I'm not getting it tonight, and so I usually give people a shout out, or when I see their viewing, or if they tell me, they will inform me sometimes, and so that's why. Are you getting it? You got the live? What's this one? Yeah. Oh, yes, I know about Sandra, yes. So we're going to rise for the tefillah on 166. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chazdei Avot Vimoot Umevi Gula Livnei V'nehem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava melech ozer u'moshia u'magen. Baruch atah Adonai, magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor l'olam Adonai, mechayei meitim, atah rav l'hoshia. Mashiv haruach u'marid hagashem, mechalkel chayim bechesed, mechayei meitim berachamim rabim. Somech noflim berofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha bal givurot, umido melach, melech meimi umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'emanata l'chachayot meitim. Baruch atah Adonai mechaye hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelu chatzela. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulacha na'eh lehodot. 178, Shalom Rav. I'll do a few of the lines anyway. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasihim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasihim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasihim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael amcha tasihim leolam. Yes, well, you know, a few moments ago I spoke about patience, and I have two things that might help you, that might help you learn about patience. Two techniques. Now, the first one sounds a little morbid, but it really isn't. It's actually, excuse me, it's actually very beneficial. I was at a long traffic light the other day, and I could feel myself getting very impatient. It happens to us, right? What a waste of time. And I was thinking, you know, I know a lot of older people who don't drive anymore. One day, my kids are going to come to me and they're going to say, Abba, here, we're taking these. You know, when I get to be a certain age, it may not be a good idea for me to be on the road anymore. And you know, I'm going to miss it. So I'm sitting there. I was sitting at this traffic light that was taking all day. And I thought, you know, one day This could be, or one day it'll be my last traffic light that I'm going to be sitting there waiting for. And oh, it's fireworks. And I'm going to miss it. I'm going to say, you remember? I'm going to say, I wouldn't mind sitting in a traffic light. You know what I mean?
Maybe you.
Maybe you. But just think about it, Scott. Think about it. If all those things that kind of annoy you, if it was the last thing,
Then you appreciate.
you'd go, you know what? I'm going to miss this one day. And you think I'm kidding, but think about it. Think about it. Your work is a pain. One day will be your last day at work. And, you're going to go, I kind of enjoyed going to work. There were things about it I really liked. So the next time you're feeling impatient, realize that, we're all just passing through. And what if this was the last time that you were going to experience that particular, not so enjoyable, but regular moment, right? Experience. So that's one thing. The next thing, and I'm a meditator, you know that. I've meditated, actually I could say for most of my life now. Really, for way, way back when I studied meditation. I also studied hypnosis because I'm interested in different levels of consciousness. Well, I had occasion about 20 years ago to put my meditation to work in a scary situation. I was in Costa Rica, and I was touring the northern part of the country. Actually, I wasn't on a tour. I was just on my own. And I met some people that I knew. I was studying Spanish in San Jose. And I met two of my fellow students who said, we're going to a cave. We're up near the Guatemala border. Would you like to come with us? And I said, sure, that sounds like fun. I forgot I'm a little bit claustrophobic. Not a lot claustrophobic, but a little bit claustrophobic. So we got into this cave, and it was cavernous. And there was a lot of light there. It was huge, like a cathedral when you entered it. A little bit of water on the ground. And they gave us, boots to put on and little hats with miners' lights on them. And we started walking. That was fun. It was interesting. We were talking. And the ceiling started coming down, getting lower. The walls started getting a little narrower. And the light became dimmer as we got away from the opening of the cave. Finally, it was pitch darkness. And the water began to rise. It was up to my knees. It was up to my waist. And I'm going, if there was a flood, if there was a tropical storm, what did I do? I shouldn't have been in this. Nobody would even know. I didn't even tell anybody I was going to do this. They'd say, whatever happened to him? And I was starting to have a panic attack. And I don't get panic attacks, but I was getting something that seemed like a panic attack. And I said in my broken Spanish to the guide, I said, ¿Es posible regresar, por favor? Is it possible to go back? No, es possible. Okay. So I asked him, again in my broken Spanish, tell me when we're halfway through the cave. Tell me when we're halfway. Would you tell me that? And he said, yes, I'll tell you, senor. So we're walking. And I said, I don't want to panic. That's not going to do any good here. So I have to practice breathing. And so I started a chant. Every step I take is one step closer to when I will be exiting the cave. Every step I take will be one step closer to when I am exiting the cave. Every step I take, I am getting closer to where I will be exiting. And then he told me when we were halfway, I said, every step I'm taking, I'm one step closer to the exit of the cave. Every step, and I just concentrated on every step, knowing that every step that I took was one step closer to the middle of the cave. And every step I was taking then, I was one step closer to where I would be exiting the cave.
Were you saying this to yourself quietly?
Yeah, no, but I didn't care if anybody, at that point, I didn't care. There were only 4 of us. There were 2 other people and the guide and me. I didn't care. I may have said it loud enough. I don't know. I can't remember. But I started breathing to it. And I calmed down. And I was thinking about, the COVID-19 pandemic. I think we're more than halfway. I think it's been about a year. Hopefully they say by the end of the spring, beginning of summer, we're really going to be able to see the end of this. Or it's going to be in sight. So I truly believe we're more than halfway. And if we just say to ourselves, get through this day, I'm one day closer to the end of this pandemic. If I get through today, just getting through today, I'm one step closer to the end of the pandemic or the COVID. But you make up your own mantra. And I do believe this. Just get through this day. That's all you have to stay alive this day. Do what you have to do to keep your spirit, and you make it through this day. That's all you can deal with. Tomorrow you say, I'm just going to get through this day, and I'm one day closer to the end of the COVID-19 pandemic. There are more days behind us. I do believe this. You're in that community. I think we can. It's a pretty safe bet that there are more days behind us of the COVID-19 than ahead of us.
Right.
I think most people would agree with that. Most of the experts. It's not that it's going to end next week or next month, but there are more. We're more than halfway now. We just have to keep wearing our masks. And so just close your eyes for a moment. And just know you have to get through this day. That there are more days behind you of the COVID-19 pandemic than there are ahead. Every step that you take, you're one step closer, one day closer to the end of this pandemic. And have faith in God that you're going to be okay. If you take the right precautions, you're going to be fine. There are more days behind us of the COVID-19 pandemic than there are ahead of us. I just have to take one more step, one more day, and I'm that much closer to a time of freedom, a time of joy, a time of love, a time when I can be with my friends and my loved ones. Take a deep breath and release it. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Huya, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imaru, imaru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimromav. Huya, say shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imaru, imaru, amen. Yah say shalom, Yah say shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Yah say shalom, Yah say shalom, shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. V'maru, amen. And we rise for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula yotzeh breshit, shalom asanu k'koyei haratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot adama, shalom sam telkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umod lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lamelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushamo echad. Now I was looking at my phone because some people have sent in some names of people who are ill and are in need of a Misha Berach, and we want to remember them in our prayers tonight. Joe Scher, a wonderful congregant of ours. Emily Shaw, that young woman we bat mitzvahed, maybe 12 years ago, no more than that, and her fiance. They both have the COVID-19 virus. And Hannah Lipton is also in need of healing. Do you know of others?
No.
Okay, so I often get people, for some reason I'm not getting our Facebook.
Facebook is down. Yeah,
our Facebook is down. Apparently, it's down everywhere. Or
610.
Yeah, no, not. So we wish them all a speedy and full recovery. Misheberach avoteinu mekor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach avoteinu makor habracha laimoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. And now we have some birthdays. Maestro. John Newberger. John Uri. Daniel Mukamal. Michael Saffin. Mickey Mallinson. Madeline Rappaport. Pamela Shatton. Candace Scheidelman. David Morans. Oh, and some kids. Zeke Peterman and Layla Peterman. I wonder if they're twins. Aaron Strauss and Zoe Lazarovich, the daughter of David and Samantha. David is on our board. And so we bless the God who conceived of you on a different realm. We bless the parents who gave you life, and we bless the day you were born. Happy birthday. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. Yom Huledet Sameach. I need some romantic music. Now, you've just been doing some solos for our couples who are celebrating anniversaries. Eleonora and Aria Lisjak. Kim and Steve Scheckman. Olivia and Stuart Kasner. Their daughter is going to be one of their daughters is going to be bat mitzvah. This is for you. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmarecha. May God bless you. May God watch over you. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha v'yichuneka. May God shine a divine light around you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God be with you every step along your journey together as you hold hands and you make your way through life, and may God give you peace. And we say, Amen. Now, this Shabbos we observe the yortzites of the following people: Mark Bankier, Joanna Bergman, Silas Bergman, Anna Blau, Ruth Broad, Ethel Brumal, Samuel Kolitz, Ada Eben, Irving Elfand, Ruth Price Elgart, Samuel Fishman, J.P. Frank, Charles Fritz, Lena Gelbert, Minnie Ginsberg, Harry Greenberg, Sam Grunsfest, Jack Hesch, Louis Holtzman, Ruth Horowitz, Toby Jaffe, Harry Kaufman, Julius Kleinbist, Milton Kramer, Otto Kraus, Ida Lewinsky, Margaret Lyon, Lena Metzger Pincus, Gladys Rothschild, Stuart Samuels, David Schwartz, Beatrice Singer, Samuel Solomon, Victor Spivak, Arnold Stern, Marion Sternfels, Howard Tobin, and Harry Wolfinger. And as always, we remember the 6 million. And we are presently in the Shloshim period for Sandra Tavlin, a lady who was a member of our congregation, very active member here for many, many years, and she will be sorely missed. Bill, Marcus, Harry Feigenbaum, Ron Mandelbaum, and Lee Storch. We rise for the mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'yamad v'rach Yerutei v'yamlich Malchutei B'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayedecha Beit Yisrael B'agala v'yizman kari v'imru amen Yahei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lemei lamaya Yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit romam v'yit naseh v'yit adar v'yit haleh v'yit Allah Shmei d'kutsha b'richu Le'elam in kol berchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'am yaran be'alma v'imru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen Usei shalom b'imrumav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Okay, just like to mention that the flowers tonight were sponsored by Michelle and Scott Singer in memory of Michelle's father, Howard Tobin, and Scott's mother, Beatrice Singer. And the music tonight, the music was, and isn't our music wonderful? Not my singing, but this guy over here is wonderful, Richie. Our Friday night music was sponsored by Marilyn, Andre, and Eric Danesh. They live in, I know Marilyn and Andre live up in Boston, and every time in the winter, they come down here, and they are dear seasonal members of they're always members of our family, but we get a chance to be in the same city with them. Mr. President, you have a few, there you go, a few announcements.
Should I do the champagne now?
You hear announcements, and then,
okay.
yes.
And then January 1st, 2021. That sounds like an old Rowan and Martin laughing. Remember they used to do the news?
Oh, the news.
Yeah, and the always do January 1st.
Don't you have to put your...
Right, that was the news.
Yes, this just in.
Anyway, so let's see. Hey, please don't forget our friends and neighbors in need in the new year. So please donate feminine hygiene products and non-perishable foods. Donate the change from your piggy bank, a tzedakah box from home, and bring all donations to the temple back at the back entrance, and that's Monday through Friday. Can't miss it. There's a big box out there, so please bring in what you can. And don't forget, let's support our sisterhood. The sisterhood has always done a wonderful job for our temple and our congregation, so let's support sisterhood. Don't forget to shop at the Sisterhood gift shop, online at the TBE website, and the jewelry is still 10% off. Ooh. And the jewelry is going fast. So go online, pick out what you can. And again, support Sisterhood. I can't tell you the wonderful things they've done for us. Saturday, January 30th, and that's coming up really quick. So if you've heard this probably for the past 2.5 months from us, but there's a very special fundraiser coming up, and that's for our preschool and our JLC and our youth programs. And that is our virtual poker tournament. So we're playing for those kids. So sign up as a player or a sponsor or both. And you could go to our website, the Temple Bethel website. And the person who wins that night goes home with a $500 Visa card. And there are additional prizes that night. So we're working on that. Some pretty cool things. So I know it's getting around the corner and people like to wait. Set up now. Go ahead. Tomorrow morning, we have Torah study at 9:30, followed by a Shabbat service by yours truly. And then resuming next week, and that's Tuesday through Friday at 9:30, we have morning meditation and intention. And then at Wednesday, we have 11:30 a.m., Rabbi's Talmud class on Zoom. Then moving to a new day and time. And that sounds like whenever there's a new season, new time, new day. Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Everything you always wanted to know about Judaism, and that's with Cantamani on Zoom. And then Thursday at 9 o'clock, of course, we continue with our minyan. Next Friday at 6:30 p.m., we have our family Shabbat. And that's for the young and the young at heart. And that's followed by our Shabbat service at 7:30. And just a reminder, all our services and events are still virtual. So as the rabbi's been going on about COVID, of course, we do not have in-person services or any kind of activity in, live where we come in. So everything is done via Zoom, Facebook. So continue to watch that. And look, don't forget to look at trending in your emails. That comes out weekly, and that will give you updates, what's going on. And for those who haven't, don't forget to subscribe to Trending on the Temple Bethel Hollywood website, or just call the office. That's it on announcements.
Thank you, and thank you for everything you do for our community, Scott.
Yeah,
thank you very much. I think you may have brought a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, I did. I
How
wanted to, it's New Year's Day, and I wanted to celebrate with everybody, and unfortunately, you can't have everybody here. So I brought a little champagne, which we normally do on New Year's Eve. And, hey, Nick, why don't you come down and get a drink, if you can?
I want to take some.
And Richie?
I'll take some over to Richie.
All right. And, again, we won't, because of COVID, we're not going to be sharing the glass this year. So we have a little champagne. And you at home, I can't pour this for you, but if you have any champagne left over from last evening, bring it out. And
okay, very carefully, I'm going to take some over. Okay, would you take this over to Richie? Be very yeah. Okay.
And sorry, Rabbi.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to do this as safely as
I
possible.
just want to say Happy New Year to all our congregants, to Rabbi Cantor, to Richie, our entire staff, all our preschool teachers, our religious school. Everyone should have a blessed, happy New Year.
Very nice. Shabbat Shalom and Happy New Year, everyone. Happy secular New Year. Oh, that's good. Oh. Why do they do that? I don't know. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.